At 99 years old, he continues to dance. Not as a memory, not in archival footage, but here, now, in a world that has long moved past most of the people who shaped him. He exists quietly against the tide of time, bringing warmth simply by entering a room. Few truly know the man behind the smile that comforted millions. Beneath the charm and humor lies a life shaped by silence, struggle, and resilience. A life that demanded performing joy for the world while quietly rebuilding oneself in private again and again. Childhood in Missouri. Born on December 13, 1925, in West Plains, Missouri, he grew up in a town that seemed too small to contain dreams. His father, a charming traveling salesman, was rarely home, while his mother maintained a quiet household order with invisible strength. Life was emotionally sparse but functional. Affection was limited, praise was rare, and he learned early that being seen was not guaranteed. Yet, even as a child, he discovered performance as a way to exist fully. Laughter became a bridge across distance, a way to make himself visible in a world that otherwise overlooked him. Discovery of comedy. From a young age, he idolized comedy duos like Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, studying their timing, physicality, and nuance with obsessive care. By 11, he understood that comedy was a craft, an architecture of timing and precision. Every pause, gesture, and expression had meaning. He recognized that genuine human connection through humor required meticulous effort. This early immersion in performance became both a refuge and a calling. For a boy navigating emotional absence, the stage offered certainty, visibility, and purpose. He was not performing for applause. He was performing to exist, to assert his presence in a world that often overlooked him. War and service. In 1944, at 18, he was drafted into the United States Army Air Forces. Hoping to become a pilot, he was instead grounded for being underweight. Assigned as a radio operator and later as a staff sergeant, he entertained troops through the American Forces Network. While not a heroic combat assignment, he embraced it fully. Here he discovered that laughter was essential, not optional. In a time of fear and uncertainty, performance became oxygen. He returned home in 1946 with no money, connections, or formal training, but with an unwavering certainty. He was meant to perform, to share joy, and to be seen by audiences who needed it. Struggle and persistence. The late 1940s and early 1950s were years of relentless struggle. Opportunities were scarce and rejection was constant. He tried radio announcing only to be let go. He formed a comedy duo, performing in small clubs and military bases, learning firsthand how physical comedy and verbal precision could coexist. Each setback reinforced his determination. Every failure was a lesson in resilience, and every small triumph a step closer to his goal. Through these years, he honed the craft that would later captivate millions, learning patience, timing, and the power of connecting with audiences on a human level. The rise to fame. Eventually, his work found wider audiences, from small stages to national television screens. He became a household presence, appearing in countless shows and films, delighting generations of viewers. His performances were not just technically skilled, they were alive, imbued with warmth, vulnerability, and authenticity. Audiences felt the man behind the character, recognizing themselves in his humor, flaws, and humanity. Despite fame, he remained grounded, carrying the lessons of his early struggles with him. The joy he delivered was not just entertainment, it was the culmination of a lifetime of dedication, craft, and the refusal to give up on being seen. Private battles behind the laughter. His life included private battles with addiction, relationships, and personal loss. A marriage of 36 years could not survive the wreckage, and periods of personal struggle threatened to overshadow professional success. Yet even in moments of deep challenge, he returned to the stage, understanding that performance was not only a vocation, but also a means of survival. The duality of public joy and private pain shaped him, teaching him resilience, self-reflection, and the importance of living fully in every moment. This tension became a quiet engine for his creative brilliance. Enduring craft throughout his career, he performed with remarkable generosity, giving fully to audiences without calculation. His work, from the earliest small clubs to major films and television programs, demonstrated a rare quality, authenticity. Technical skill alone cannot produce the warmth and human connection he achieved. Audiences were drawn not only to talent, but to the honesty, vulnerability, and generosity embedded in every gesture. His performances endure across generations not because of perfection or critical acclaim, but because they contained something deeper, a genuine, lived human experience shared freely, without reservation or artifice. Legacy of joy. He continued to perform joyfully well into his later years, including iconic roles in film and television that remain beloved by multiple generations. Parents introduce his work to their children, creating a chain of cultural transmission that has lasted decades. What makes these performances timeless is not novelty or spectacle, but the presence he brought fully to every scene. Each laugh, each moment of wonder carries traces of his life story, its struggles, triumphs, and resilience. Audiences love him not despite his flaws, but because of them, finding comfort and recognition in his honesty and humanity. Reflection and fulfillment. In later life, he spoke openly about regrets, failures, and losses, not as a lament, but as acknowledgement of the journey that shaped him. He understood that joy is not a reward for surviving life's challenges, but a practice, a daily commitment to connection and presence. At 99, with the ocean nearby and a lifetime of experience behind him, he exemplifies this truth. The accumulation of waiting rooms, stages, marriages, losses, and laughter brought him to a place of peace and presence, where every performance, every gesture, and every smile reflects a life fully lived. The lesson of a life. The most profound lesson of his life is deceptively simple. Joy is a choice, a practice, and a persistence. It is not contingent on circumstances, acclaim, or audience approval. It is found in the daily act of engaging fully with the world and giving what only you can give. At 99, he is living proof that a life committed to authentic presence, resilience, and creativity is not only possible, but deeply meaningful. The man who dances, who continues to bring warmth, and who has endured decades of personal struggle embodies a truth more eloquent than any performance. The courage to be fully oneself is the greatest gift. Still dancing today, he continues to move, to engage, to inspire. Every step, every smile, every moment of connection is both a performance and a testament to a life lived fully, authentically, and generously. Through decades of change, loss, and transformation, he remains a living reminder that art, joy, and human connection are inseparable. At 99, he is not only performing for audiences, but demonstrating the enduring power of perseverance, authenticity, and generosity. His life is a masterclass in resilience, a blueprint for how to survive, rebuild, and continue sharing warmth, laughter, and love, no matter the passage of time.